Hello friends, Bonnie here, and welcome back to my channel, Sublime Sagas. So today we're going to be going through how well I've done for the Buzzwordathon prompts for 2021. So if any of you guys don't know about the Buzzwordathon, it is a year-long reading challenge that Books and Lala created based off of her previous readathon, Buzzwordathon. So it's like each month there is a dedicated word or concept that you kind of can then base your reads off of if it has that word in the title. So it's buzzwords. So at the beginning of the year, I was like, okay, we're gonna go hard. We're gonna follow these prompts like per each month. So like January's prompt, I'll read in January, February, etc., etc. Which it worked for a couple months, but then I no longer was prioritizing that, and so it kind of fell off of being a focus for me. But recently watching Books and Lala's video that was announcing the buzzwords for next year. She did actually go through the prompts to see from 2021 where she had succeeded, like which books would fit which things, and so I decided to do that as well, just with all the books that I've read so far this year, and I've read over 100, so we shall see if I hit them all. If I haven't, then I can maybe try and squeeze them into December. So let's get started. So for January, the prompt was dream. So for this one, we're starting this off by like stretching it a little bit. So none of the books I read had dream in the title, but there was one that had dream in the series title. So for this one, I'm gonna count Call Down the Hawk by Maggie Steifvater as fulfilling this prompt because it is part of the Dreamer trilogy. So I read that one. I only gave it like 3 stars, but it works for the prompt. If I wanted to stretch it even more, I could even say that I read Nightmares by Jason Segel and Kirsten Miller, and nightmares are dreams, so boom, fulfilled. Which that one was also 3 stars. So January was good. For February, the prompt was some kind of color, which a lot of the books I've read this year have some kind of color in the title. So I listened to the audiobook of Black Flamingo by Atta, which was amazing, 5 out of 5 stars. I read Black Magick Volume 3, which is a graphic novel series. I believe I gave Volume 3 4 stars. I read Across the Green Grass Fields by Seanan and McGuire. I believe that was a 3 star. I also read Red Rising by Pierce Brown. Also gave it like 3 stars. Well, I planned to continue, but like was kind of let down. But yeah, so got a good mix of ratings there, but a lot of books fit for the color buzzword. For March, the prompt was time, which for that concept, the books I read that fulfilled it were Summer of Salt, with it being a particular season. It's a time of year. So Summer of Salt by Katrina Leno, 5 out of 5 stars. And This Is How You Lose the Time War by Amal El-Mohtar and Max Gladstone, also 5 out of 5 stars. I read these both, I believe, the same month. I believe it actually was in March that I fulfilled these in. I read them, I think, during Becca's Bookoplathon, all the crazy live shows she was doing for that. I read these during that. This is an amazing sapphic sci-fi book that's poetic and intriguing, but also confusing, but I was just completely captivated. And Summer of Salt is a story about this island and this magical bird, and there's like slight magical speculative things going on, but also like some darker themes as well. And there's also a sapphic relationship in here, so March was great for the sapphic read. For the April prompts, it was to do space or galaxy terms. This, unfortunately, I have not fulfilled. Hopefully I will fulfill it if I finally read Starsight by Brandon Sanderson. I've been meaning to read this book literally since it came out like a couple years ago. I literally pre-ordered this. It's a signed copy, and I just still haven't gotten to it, but I'm dying to do so. Hopefully I can finish this. Hopefully I can read this in December, especially with the sequel to Starsight coming out. Actually came out today. And I still haven't read this, so I definitely can't get to Titanic then anytime soon. If I'm still hung up on this one, I'll be able to fulfill the April prompts then if I do finish this with it having star in the title. The prompt for May was house/home, and for that I fulfilled by reading The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune, which I feel like I don't even have to say what that's about. Everyone on BookTube freaking loves it. They love it. I listened to it on audiobook. It's a wholesome read about magical children. I think I gave it max 4 stars. I thought it was a little overhyped, but it was cute and it was fun. For June, the prompt buzzword is name or title, so like king, queen, actual names of characters, etc., etc. I read, and this is another one that I fulfilled by reading a couple different things. I read The Empress of Salt and Fortune by Nevo. I read The Queen of Nothing by Holly Black. And I read The Demon King by Snow Gnomes Chima. Empress of Salt and Fortune, I really enjoyed listening to it on audiobook, so definitely recommend it that way if you can't get your hands on a physical copy. For July, the buzzword was last, and I only read one book this year that fulfills that, and it is One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. This is another sapphic book with kind of some sci-fi, a little like light sci-fi. One of our main characters is kind of like trapped in a time loop, stuck on the subway. So like part of it is like the mystery of like figuring out how she got stuck there, how to get her unstuck, and then it's also our 2 main characters' love story, and then there's also another mystery that like kind of ties them together in addition to being stuck in the time loop. It does a lot. I was a little disappointed. I felt like this was kind of doing too many things at once. I think I gave this 4 stars, but the disappointment was real. But it's still a fun time. For August, the concepts were time of day, which I read quite a few that fit this prompt. I don't have any physical ones to show you because they were all read either via ebook or audiobook. So fulfilling this is The Midnight Lie by Marie Rukatsky, which I gave 3 stars. I was quite disappointed in it, but it's another sapphic read, so bonus points for that. I read The Midnight Bargain via audiobook by, I think C.L. Polk is the author. Which I went back and forth on my experience of listening to that. Like, I really enjoyed some parts of it, just like reflecting on the societal issues and the relationship that men and women have to magic in that world, and how kind of like their gender roles play into allowing them to use that power. So like that aspect I really enjoyed, but it really, really irked me how the characters were behaving and acting to one another and just like not fully communicating. It bugged me. It bugged me. So I think that was also another 3-star. I listened to The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. I listened to that audiobook whenever Polarthon was last happening. I listened to that, and that was another letdown. People hype it up so much, which, like, I think the writing was good, just like I was just bored the whole time. I think I even listened to that audiobook at 3 times speed at one point because I just wanted it to be done. So that wasn't great. So that was probably 2 stars, although I might have rated it 3 stars at the time, but it wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. And one last book that fulfills this prompt concept is Amari and the Night Brothers by B.B. Alston. I listened to the book of this in November, and it was just really cute and fun middle grade. I gave it 4 stars. It's really an enchanting world that's been created here. I'm really excited to see where it goes from here. Definitely has the potential to like be built up even greater in the following books. So I'm really excited to see where that goes. For the month of September, the buzzword was dark, which this is another one that I have not fulfilled yet this year, although I do have 2 books that could fulfill this if I do get to it. So I will hold up Dark Skies by Danielle L. Jensen. This is the 2nd book in the series, which I haven't read the first one, but I do have it on audiobook, so that's the 2nd one I'm referring to, but I have this one physically, so this is the one I'll hold here. Danielle L. Jensen, if that name's familiar to you, is the author of the Bridge Kingdom books, which has been, I feel like, taken BookTube by storm a couple months ago. I really enjoyed that one and its sequel, The Traitor Queen. So I wanted to read her other series, which for whatever reason, I have the horrible habit with Danielle L. Jensen books of purchasing the sequel before purchasing the first book. I did it with The Traitor Queen. I picked that one up at a local used bookstore, thinking I was getting the first of the series, and then I was like, wait a minute. And so had to backtrack for that one. And then this one I purchased on my family vacation to Mackinac Island. I picked this one up at the bookstore thinking it was the first book. And then I was back at my hotel and realized, no, this is also the 2nd book in the series. So luckily I did have an Audible credit left over for the month, so I was able to get the first book via audiobook. I did start it a little bit, but I want to go back and kind of restart it so I can refresh my mind. But yeah, hopefully I will finish at least the first book, Dark Shores. I don't know much. I know it's fantasy, and they seem like pirates. They seem like pirates. I don't know how long we'll be on like ships and everything, but what I've read, it seems very pirate setting, so I'm sure it'll be fun. But yeah, so hopefully I will get to one, if not both of these, very soon. For October, the prompt concept was elements, and I read 2 books that fulfill this one. I read Firefight by Brandon Sanderson, which is another YA sci-fi of his, and oh my god, that's reflecting like crazy from my windows. Apologies. This is the second book in his older YA sci-fi series. It's like dystopian. People get superhuman abilities to the extent that they practically become gods, and they totally change the entire environment and settings of all these different cities. Some people believe that these superhuman people are doing good, but then that idea kind of gets challenged when they start harming people. Our main character even witnesses his father get killed by one of them, so it then becomes a rebellion and that kind of stuff. So I gave this one 3 stars. I gave this entire trilogy 3 stars, which is quite a low rating for Brandon Sanderson for me. Pretty much all his other books have either been 4 or 5 stars for me. So this one really wasn't for me, but I loved the exploring the concept of this world. The other book I read that fulfills the elements prompt is Burn for Burn by Jenny Honish von Vivian. This one is like nearly entirely a contemporary, but then weird shit started to happen at the end of this, so like I don't know if it's getting speculative or what. I'm not really sure, but it was fun. I gave it 3 stars. It was super quick read. I think I read it maybe in one night. But yeah, I'm just interested to see where this series goes. You know, it's an old YA book, so it's just a drama moment, and we're just living for the drama at the time, you know. For November, the prompt was Lost, which is another one that I have not fulfilled. I don't have any books that have Lost in the title, so this is another one I will be stretching. For The Unbroken by C.L. Clarke, I saw on Goodreads that this series is called Magick of the Lost. So, yeah. I don't really know anything about this other than it's a fantasy that's been getting some good buzz, and it's sapphic. I found this secondhand. It's an Illumicrate edition, so it's got the lovely sprayed edges, and it is signed, and yeah, I'm really hoping to get to this one. And then the final one that I have that is listed is the summer prompt, which is day, month, season. And although I mentioned it already, I read Summer of Salt by Katrina Leno. So that'll about do it for this video. I'm pretty happy that I fulfilled nearly all of these prompts. It's definitely getting me inspired to look into doing this again next year. If you guys haven't seen, Books and Lala has already posted graphics of the up-and-coming buzzword prompts for next year. I know I already saved it to my phone, so I'm getting pretty excited. But yeah, so please let me know if you have participated in the Buzzwordathon this year. Are you planning on doing so next year? Is there a prompt that you felt was really easy to fulfill? I know for me, as I listed, there was quite a few that fulfilled the same prompt, so it'd be fun to know what trends you found in your Buzzwordathon reads. I would also love to know what you think I should prioritize in reading. I know there's a few that I said would fulfill the prompts that are still pending from my list, But let me know if there's other books you would suggest for fulfilling these. Even if I have completed that month's challenge, you know, just it's always a fun way to recommend books to each other. But yeah, so thank you so much for watching and hope to see you again soon.